one lead generation to take place. So you have to, if you choose a lead generation, whether it's Facebook, open houses, you have to give them the time to develop. Because as you do an open house today, and that lead that you got from that open house might come into a transaction 3 months later, right? So if you do open houses for 1 month and then you stop and you say, well, open houses didn't work, it's because you didn't develop, or you don't continue working on that.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Alan Kay Show. Today we got a great guest in the house, a top 1% real estate agent here in the state of Arizona. He's been in business for 6 years, 229 transactions for $82 million. Last year, he did 56 transactions, $22.5 million, and he's growing every single year, which is in our market it's tough. I mean, it's really been tough for the last couple of years, but this guy is increasing his numbers every year. We got a special guest, my friend, Jose Saraceres. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, you did.
What's up, brother?
Hey, how we doing?
Welcome, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great, yeah. How are you doing this, man? Like, I see your numbers, and they're just like going up and up and up year after year. So last year, right? 56?
56 total, yes.
22 million?
Yes, sir.
All right. How are you doing it?
See, well, my clientele right now, for the last couple of years, has been now past clients that I've been able to help out more. So they send me a lot of referrals back. But originally, I started with Facebook. Facebook has probably been the platform that I've been getting a lot of my clients to begin with. So, and it's not paid leads, it's been put them on the marketplace. I've been putting houses on the marketplace, getting people to reach out about these properties, asking about these properties. And little by little, it's been growing to now. I've been probably about 33% of the clients that I get now is past clients coming back, or they send me their friend, their family, and whatnot,
So, okay, let's unpack that, right?
Sure.
So you get listings, right? And by the way, they don't have to be even your listings, right? You can borrow somebody else's listing.
Correct.
Right? You put that listing into Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
Right? And then I'm sure you're getting DMs, right?
Correct.
How many DMs per day, per week, and what does the conversion rate looks like when it comes to that?
Sure. So you probably get per property, you're going to get about 15 to 20 DMs that people asking you questions. Sometimes it could be a comment on the actual post.
Is it per day or per week?
Per day. You get it sometimes per day like that. Per week, you're looking at roughly, I'd probably talk about 75 to 80 people. They send me a message overall from different properties.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're responding yourself, or you got an assistant who's
correct.
doing it?
No, I respond myself.
Got it. Are you putting anything on those posts that actually triggers them or made them actually to DM you, or you just put the picture or 2 or 3 of the property? Are you putting the price?
I'm putting the picture of the properties. I don't put the price.
Okay.
And then I have changed wording as we go, but funny enough that people, even when I put a price on a house, they still ask me for the price anyways. So at the end of the day, so I just put really the same message all the time about the size of the house, how many bedrooms, how many baths, and just call me. And then people usually DM me or they just call me, and they ask the questions.
Mm-hmm. So 15 to 20 a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's close to 150 a week.
Correct.
So out of those 150, how many of them are actually qualified to purchase a house?
So you start going down from that amount to, out of the 15, you ended up having actual conversations that they give you your phone number or the email, probably about 3 to 4. They give you their phone number, they give you the email, you send them listings now, for an instance, if they only give me their email address or they give me the phone number for me to call.
Yeah.
And then I obviously reach out to them and start talking about the whole pre-approval process.
Yeah.
And send them to the lender. So usually out of the 15 people you can talk in a day, probably 1 you send to the lender. Sometimes 2 people you send to the lender. And then out of that, as you know, some may get qualified, some don't. Some I put them on my database, on my CRM to continue touching them as we go, if they have low credit or whatever the case might be.
Interesting. So out of those 150 per week, let's say, that's like 600 a month. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of leads.
That's a lot of
Now,
conversations.
granted, most of them are probably not qualified, right? But about maybe 10% of them, 20% of them end up in your database?
Yeah, I want to say about
50 to
15.
60?
And what I started doing now, because before, if they didn't give me their phone number or their email, I didn't put them on the database.
Yeah.
On some, if I have good conversations, but I don't have their email or I don't have their phone number, I still put them on my database because on my Neo CRM that I have, I can actually put their conversation from the messenger and Facebook on my system, so I can just click on it and it takes me directly to the message, to the whole conversation that I've been having with them. So if I feel like that person had a good conversation with me, I still put them on my CRM, and then like I said, I can access back to them and talk to them again.
Yeah.
And I just go back to the messenger
And how often do you post?
daily.
Daily. Same listing or a different listing?
No, different listing every day.
Different listing every day. How long does it take you to post a listing? You probably master that process right now.
15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes? And then how much time per day does it take you to go back and forth and just, reply to the messages?
Frankly, it's a whole day process sometimes.
It's a whole day process.
Because I post early in the morning, and then the first message come in like around 11 o'clock and then 12 o'clock. I'm sorry. And then you continue having these conversations. But honestly, it's through the whole day. Sometimes the next day, even though the house you posted yesterday, they'll be asking you about it tomorrow or the next day,
Got it. Okay. So 600 or so DMs a month. Out of those 600, about 40 to 50 of them or 60 of them end up in your database.
Correct.
These are leads. And they're constantly getting something from you in terms of like the home search, emails, text messages, and etc.
Correct.
And you're not paying for any of that.
No.
So would you say that 60, 70% of your business comes from Facebook Marketplace?
Right now, I want to say it is about 40%.
40%.
40%, because I have grown my past clients database. So I've been getting a lot of clients from that.
Yeah.
And then I used to work for AutoZone for 15. I was talking to you about this earlier.
Yeah.
For AutoZone for about 15 years, and I get a lot of those my past employees and past co-workers to call me as well. And I get a little bit of that. I think right now probably about 25 to 30% are from that database.
Yeah, so about 20 to 25 deals coming from Facebook Marketplace. Another 10 to 12 deals are coming from AutoZone.
Correct.
Referrals. And then the rest of it are probably your past clients.
Correct.
Love it. And I think with AutoZone, you mentioned to me that you manage 17, 18 locations?
Yeah, I was
hired
in charge
over
of 17.
200 or so employees?
Yeah, over the last 8 years, I hired quite a lot of employees and train and develop some of them, yes. And I'm still very close connections with a lot of the people there.
So what made you to get your real estate license? Because, you had a really nice, cushy job. I'm sure you were making pretty good penny, right?
Correct.
Managing 17 stores, I think AutoZone probably pays a lot, right?
It was good pay.
Okay, good. So what then made you to decide to because it's a career, right?
It was, yes.
You got a wife, you have 2 kids, responsibilities, obviously a mortgage, bills and all of that kind of stuff. Sure. So to take that type of a leap, right, the way you did it, right? Not everybody does it, right?
Correct.
A lot of people get into the business and they do real estate part-time and they still work their full-time job, right? It's security and, that consistent pay that comes in, right? What made you to get your real estate license, A? And then B, did you start it right away, full-time agent, part-time agent? How did it all transpire?
So at AutoZone, I had the opportunity to move up within the company, but that also meant going out of state. My career had to take me to another state. And at that time, our daughter was small, and we didn't want to make that move. We didn't want to make that change. I spoke to my wife a couple of times when the opportunity arises. She's like, no, we're not ready to make the move.
Which state?
One time was Texas, another one was in New York. And at that point, I realized that I was going to be on this position for a while. And frankly, so I wanted more. We both wanted more. We want to continue to grow. We wanted to better our careers. So that's when we decided to go into real estate. We met a couple. The first couple who helped us buy our home, they were also a realtor and a lender. So we always were intrigued about the whole situation with them. And we always thought back about, hey, maybe this is a good idea. Maybe we should do it. And then when I realized that I was not going to go nowhere anymore with AutoZone, that's when, okay, you know what, let's touch into this. My wife was in banking, and she wanted to go into the mortgage business, but unfortunately, she was not given the opportunity at her bank to do so. She's like, you know what, I want to do this. So she jumped into the mortgage business on her own, and then that's when I also went into real estate.
So hold on. At the same time, she went into mortgages, which is essentially, it is a commission-based,
Correct.
right, career. And then you went into the real estate, which is also commission-based career, right? At the same time?
Not at the same time. Frankly, we created a plan because we knew it was going to be commission-based. My salary was pretty solid. Her salary was solid as well.
Yeah.
So we couldn't just quit. You're right. So our plan was to get our finances in order to where my income from AutoZone was going to be enough to cover all the expenses.
Yep.
And it took us about 2 years and a half to get to that point. When we did that, it was time for her to go into mortgages. So she quit. Obviously, she went into the classes, and she went into the mortgage business. She did it about a year. No business at the beginning, just like anything, you know that.
Yep.
But about a year and a half, that's when she started to grow into her business and getting a lot of more business coming through. That's when she's like, okay, now I'm able to. She was making now what I was making at AutoZone. That was my clue. It's like, okay, now she's making the same money as I'm making at AutoZone. So now I can go part-time at AutoZone. I went part-time for a year. And then when I got enough money to be close to what I was making at AutoZone, that's when I also went into full-time on real estate.
So how many homes did you sell as a part-time agent that first year?
12.
12. So one closing a month.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's decent.
Was it primarily from referrals, or were you like doing the Facebook Marketplace then?
It was a little bit of marketplace and also some of the leads from her. She already...
So she was feeding you.
Yes. She did. For the first year.
For the first year, she
did.
Got
Absolutely.
it. No, it's just the reason I'm asking is like I'm so fascinated, right? Because I shared my story with you, right? My first 6 months, I made like zero. Like it was a donut, right? It was tough. It was painful, man. I was getting rejected left and right. I was calling expireds and for sale by owners. I used to go on these listing appointments and just bomb, you know. I feel like that year, the first year, I probably left maybe at least like 20 listings on the table. I didn't know what I was doing. I swear I didn't know. And finally, like after 6 months, I got my first listing. It was 83rd Avenue in Camelback.
Okay.
It was a cool $100,000 listing. It was a $2,500 commission check, 2.5%, right? And I felt like a freaking winner. Like I felt like it was like $1 million listing. Felt like it was a $25,000 commission check, you know. But like I said, more importantly, I felt, man, it was a win for me, right?
Yeah.
But it took me 6 months. And I know there are agents out there, brand new agents out there that are going through this process right now. One thing that I want to share with you guys is just please do not give up. Please do not wave that white flag and go back to that comfort zone. Continue to push through. Would you agree with me on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So first year, 12 transactions.
Yeah.
Second year, full-time.
Correct.
How many deals?
24.
Doubled.
Yeah.
By yourself.
Correct.
No team, no admin, none of that stuff.
Just me.
So just doing exactly the same thing that you did your first year.
Let me take that back. When I started my career at real estate, I didn't know what I was doing, and there was this lady who she was going into doing her TC. She wanted to be TC. She was doing real estate and she didn't like it. She's like, hey, I want to do TC. So I told her like, hey, so you want to do TC? Perfect. How about you show me? Because I don't know how to do anything. How about you show me how to do some of the contracts and some of the documentation, some of the paperwork. So literally from day one, I hired her. And then, into the process, I was like, okay, now I know how to do the work, but I kind of like the fact that she does all the work for me.
Yeah.
So I just kept her.
Yeah.
And so I was with the TC from the beginning, from day one, which I would recommend for anybody who wants to do real estate, even from the beginning. TC is the best in it. It takes a lot of the time away from you. So you can do lead generation, which is exactly, I feel like the fact that I did that is what helped me grow the way I did, because I was able to do lead generation instead of doing the documentation and the paperwork and everything else, you know?
Brother, you're speaking my language. Like probably one of my biggest regrets initially in my career was the fact that I waited almost 2 years before I hired like somebody to help you with the paperwork. Like my second year, I closed on 35 transactions. I was pushing the paperwork.
Oh, wow.
Like I remember the
That's
days, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, like showing homes all day long. And then 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, I'm writing an offer or trying to get the offer accepted or trying to get a pre-qualification from a lender, getting the initials, this and that. And the 3 kids are sitting there like waiting for my like my time, my attention. My wife is trying to get a something going and I'm sitting there. I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like I'm making good money. I think that year like made $200,000. I was like, why am I doing the stuff that I can hire somebody else to do it for like 15, 20 bucks?
Correct.
Right? And it just like that flipped. I was like, all right, I got to find an assistant. Found an assistant, part-time. My definition of part-time is 20, 25 hours a week. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Her definition of part-time was 5 hours a week. She didn't want to work, so it didn't work with me.
That
All right.
doesn't work.
So after I'd say about 2 to 3 weeks, I said, you know what, this is not. We got to part ways, right? Then I hired another assistant, and she was full time now. But every time there was like that difficult client, you get those difficult. Probably you never get difficult clients because you're a nice guy, right?
I wish, but sometimes.
Dude, I used to get difficult clients because my clients were like expired and canceled listings, and they went through that situation with other agent or two, and now like every single thing that you tell them, they're taking it with a grain of salt. Like they're like the trust issue is tough.
Correct.
Right? So I would get those type of clients, and one of the reasons why it expired in the first place was because they were difficult clients. They're unreasonable clients with the price or showings, whatever that is. She would get emotional about it.
Oh.
So I said, no, man, it ain't gonna work for me. Like I need somebody who's gonna be calm. Like I'm like this. I need somebody who's calm. So that didn't work out. My third assistant, she was 21 years old. She was recommended by one of the agents in the office. At first, I was like, man, 21 years old, like, it's too young, right? But you know what? She was a fast learner. She was a hard worker. She was dependable. She showed up, and she did the work. And I tell you, I went from 35 deals to like 75 deals my third year. Not working more hours, working less hours, but that time was spent now on going out there and building relationships and getting new business and marketing myself versus being in the weeds and doing the paperwork at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening.
Correct.
So I commend you the fact that from the beginning,
yes,
you were not thinking about, $300 or $400. You're like, man, you know what? I want that time to spend on getting more business versus sitting there and trying to figure out what paperwork to use and waiting for those initials and et cetera.
Yeah, well, in my previous career, delegating was incredibly important. As I mentioned earlier, I had 17 stores. I had to depend on those people to run themselves. I couldn't be on every store every single day.
Yeah.
So delegation is important. So you tend to kind of see how it's important to be able to do that, to delegate, to have someone help you, and that liberates a lot of their time.
Yeah. The power of leverage.
Yeah.
Right? So the way we grow in our businesses and have these conversations with our coaching clients is the fact that, let's take, for example, a brokerage owner. There are 100,000 brokerage owners out there in the United States per NAR.
That's a ton.
82% of them have 10 or less agents. Imagine that. And the brokerage owner is wearing multiple hats. Like he or she are doing everything, including like washing dishes. Like they're doing everything, they're responsible for everything. So they're overwhelmed, right? They have a lot of things going on, and they're running a business that without their production, that business most likely not going to be able to survive.
Probably, yes.
Right? And most of them are not leveraged at all. Like they don't have admins, or maybe they have an admin, right? But like there's no leverage when it comes to people and when it comes to systems. So in order for you to get from the owner-dependent business, which is basically everything's on your shoulders, God forbid something happens to you tomorrow, the business is not going to be able to survive, to get to the next level, which is you start like, they call it buying back time, right? Like you buy back your time, you focus more on dollar-producing activities or dollar-making activities, right, and all of that. You got to have people, you got to have systems.
Correct.
That's it. And the fact that you're coming from that background, managing 17 stores, and you were not doing everything in that store. You were managing the people, and the systems were supporting those people.
Correct.
Yeah. So is that what you teach right now when it comes to your agents?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the biggest things that, you got to leverage yourself and utilize resources that you have. Obviously, having a CRM is super important. I met with a lady not long ago. I even have the picture. She had all of her clients in piece of papers all over the place. I was like, no. Let us help you put all your database into a CRM, more easier to manage, right? And then obviously agents, they're producing. Granted, if you're doing less than 10, maybe not, a TC is not as necessary, even though I think you should anyways. But if you're doing more than 10, having a TC is super important. It's going to take a lot of your time away so you can, do more, like you said earlier, income producing activities,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, leveraging is super important.
So have you considered maybe getting somebody full-time? Like I'm assuming the TC that you have right now is per transaction.
Correct.
Do you have an admin in addition to the TC, or are you still using the same TC? You do have an admin.
I have an admin as well.
Okay, and what are her responsibilities?
Main thing is my calendar, my email. She checked my calendar, she checked my email, so so I don't have to be going on my emails all the time. She's handling that. I have a couple other activities that she helps me with Facebook, so messages that she sends on Facebook and things that she does, so she handles that as well.
Got it. All right. And when did you decide to hire an admin? Like, was it year number 3, year number 4? When did you feel like you can afford to have a full-time employee?
I should have done it sooner, if I be honest with you, but since last year.
Last year.
Correct.
Got it. And I'm assuming you pay her base?
Correct.
Plus some sort of a bonus?
Correct.
Got it. All right. And she's helping you with your calendar? She's helping you with social media stuff?
Correct. Social media.
Is she still is she doing the transaction coordination or any of that kind of stuff or no?
Sometimes she does, and depends on the emails because she handles some of the emails. So she handles some of that as well.
Got it. What about managing the team? Is she helping you with that?
Correct. She's
doing that too. Got it. So for example, when you bring on an agent, she's onboarding that agent, she's training that agent, answering agents' questions. Is she doing any of that?
No, I have an agent that does some of the training and development of some of those. In her case, it's more like the emails, the TC, working with that is what she handles.
Got it. Okay.
And some of the administrative stuff is what she handles, and she does.
Got it. So your wife is a mortgage loan officer.
Yeah.
And you're a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. And obviously you work together.
Yes.
How does that work? Because you work together during the day, and obviously you see each other in the evenings. I don't know if you guys work from the from the same office or separate offices or in the same house. And I'm just asking because I love my wife. We've been married for almost 25 years, but I don't know. And babe, I hope you're not going to get upset or anything like that. She's in New York right now. But I just cannot see myself working with and again, my wife is adorable. She's great, right? 24/7.
So we work very hard into separating the two. And it's not easy at times, and depending on the situation and the transaction, right? But, we, in the morning, we have a routine that we have built, and it's nice because we go to the gym together, we meditate in the morning, and then we take care of the kids, getting fed, and then go to school. And after that, she has her own office, and I have my own office.
In a house?
No, on separate buildings completely. I try to work from home, and then it worked for me, to be honest with you.
Me too. Yeah.
I had to be in someplace else outside.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we go into our offices. We have a time that we talk about the leads, where we at on them, and kind of a follow up where we stand. And then she goes on her day, and I do go on my day. One of the biggest things is respect, and also the trust that we are each other gonna do what we're supposed to do on our end. And that's a big thing, trust in that case. She's gonna do what she needs to do, and I'm gonna do what I need to do, so we can push the file forward. And that's important. After we get out of work, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is time with the family, times with the kids. We try to not bring that home. Well, sometimes we have conversations just like anything, but we've been pretty good about separating at that time from any work. Sometimes hey, I'm upset with my loan officer, but now I'm here with my wife.
Yeah,
So-
how does that work?
So it's challenging, like I said, at times.
Yeah.
But once we go home, we remember that, like, hey, what happened on the day, it's happened on the day. Let's try to have a good time together.
Yeah. So your routine starts early in the morning that you guys both go to the gym.
Yes,
What time do you go to the gym?
4:30.
Dude, you wake up at 4 a.m.?
I do
Wow.
Monday through Friday, and then
I
Saturdays
gotta
we go a
step
little
up my
later.
game. Like today I woke up at 4, but usually I'm like between 5 and 5:30. 4 o'clock,
Yeah,
and you go to the gym at 4:30.
correct.
Both of you. Mm-hmm. And for how long you been doing this?
And the 4 o'clock, we've been doing it for about, I want to say about a year now.
A year. What changed? What triggered you to start waking up
So
early at 4 a.m. and then go to the gym?
So we used to do the same thing, but after we took the kids to school, that's when we went to the gym. The problem with that is that we took the kids at around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And so now you go to the gym at 9 o'clock in the morning or so, and then 10 o'clock, you already kill half of your morning.
Yeah, your phone is already blowing up.
Correct.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
times I was on the gym and people were texting me, were calling me, and I couldn't concentrate. I didn't finish my workout. And that's when me and her talked like, hey, this is not working. I had to get going. Sometimes we cut the session short because something blew up, or something happened, or someone needed my attention at that minute. She used to see me on the phone, like sitting instead of doing what I had to do, she saw me on the table talking to someone or vice versa. And that's when we're like, hey, this is not working. We need to find a better time for this. I don't like going in the afternoon. We tried that after work, and we just didn't like it. So like, okay, 4 o'clock it is.
So, aside from the time situation, right? That obviously your phone is not blowing up at 8 o'clock or 8:30, 9 o'clock. No, I feel exactly the same way, right? So, like, I wake up at 5 a.m. From 5 to 7, it's my time. I don't go to the gym in the morning. I do it after 5:30, 6 o'clock, right? That's when I go. But aside from that, like, what are the effects that you have like experienced in the last year? Waking up early in the morning at 4 a.m., going to the gym, obviously getting your day like started on the right foot, right?
Correct.
And you said you meditate, is that right?
Correct.
For how long?
And the meditation is about 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes
15 to 30 minutes. You do it before the gym or after?
after.
After. Okay, got it. So what changed, if anything, in the last 12 months, in the last year, after you started waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going early to the gym, meditating, right, and be ready at 7:30, 8 o'clock to like fucking conquer the world?
So one of the biggest things is that now I'm able to start my day sooner and, concentrate on me, going to the gym, the meditation, without no interruptions. That was a big change.
Yeah.
Because now I can concentrate on that and be more relaxed and whatnot. And then give the time that I need to give to the people, at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, when they're already calling me is because they need something. And now I don't feel they're taking away my time, or vice versa. I'm taking away time from Jose, right? So now I can give them the time. So it feels much better. My whole day starts in a better tune because of those reasons,
I love it. How do you feel? Like, do you feel much better?
Yeah, no, it's more energized. If I don't go to the gym, because sometimes, unfortunately, things happen, right? I don't feel the same. I'm luggage through the whole day, right? I'm taking a little longer to do things. So it gives me a lot of energy, like more pumped up to conquer the day,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I think I shared this with you, right? Like last week, I threw off my back by reaching for a coffee pod. Yeah, just like that, right? So I haven't been going to the gym for more than a week, like literally. I mean, I go to like sauna, I go to Lifetime, I do some stretching and everything like that. But dude, like without going to the gym, like I miss it. I want to go, I want to work out, I want to, throw some weights around and everything like that. But I feel like by not going to the gym, I usually go about 4 days, 5 days a week. That's for me for the last 3 years. It's like non-negotiable, right? I feel like I'm almost kind of like I'm failing or something like that. Just the energy levels are not where they're supposed to be in the mornings and during the day. when I'm not going to the gym.
No, I agree with you. Like if we don't go to the gym, we don't feel the same way.
Yeah.
And it that gives you more energy to go on the day. And even my team, though sometimes, hey man, what's going on with you today? It's like I couldn't go to the gym today. It's like, oh, okay. So because you do feel different, obviously you get yourself pumped up in the morning, get going, the flowing and whatnot. So it's important. For me, it's very important to do those things in the morning, get going, to have that good routine. And we like our routine. We like what we have built, and that just get us going for the day.
Got it. So you get to the office what time? Around 8 o'clock?
8:30.
8:30? Okay, so what do you do in the office?
Right away, as soon as I get to 8:30, I already have my calendar printed. I know what I need to do in regards to calls, so I start calling people, reaching out to people, follow up with people.
Got it. And who are you calling? The prospects?
Every day is different. So I have a team day, so to speak, per day. But a lot of the times early in the morning is prospecting, doing a lot of prospecting.
Prospecting. So you're still doing prospecting.
Correct. You still do, because obviously I do the Facebook group in the morning. Yeah, and then people start calling at that time. I start reaching out. If I had to do follow-ups with some of the clients that I spoke to, then I reach out to those clients and I speak to them right away. To give an example, my Tuesdays is my updates for my current clients on the contract. So right away, I start calling, hey, this is where we at, this is where we stand, whatever the case might be based on the transaction. On Mondays is what I call my VIP days, when I'm reaching out to people that I consider my VIPs, like Raven fans or things like that, to reach out to them to set up like a lunch to go with them, to talk to them a little bit of how's their day going and whatever the case might be. Wednesdays is heavy into prospecting and hot leads. People maybe reach out to me a couple of days ago about a house or a past client. So I use Wednesdays to call back if I haven't done that already. And also, if we have anybody showing homes, Wednesday is for me to reach out to them and see where we at on that process. If they're ready, hey, have you seen any houses you want to go see on the weekend? Depending on the client, right? So Thursdays is my past clients database reach out. So I reach out to a lot of those past clients just to try to touch base with them. I do about 4 touches a year per client. So I call them up or send them a message, Facebook. It's pretty nice now that you can just send a text or a message, right? So I do that. So that's kind of what I do early in the mornings.
So like on average, how many conversations are you having per day?
Actual conversations, about 15
conversations.
Yeah.
Throughout the day.
Correct.
Got it. All right. And like in terms of your, you closed on 56 transactions last year, right? How many of them were like a buy side versus the listings?
So last year, I'm very heavy buy side.
Very heavy.
Very heavy. Last year, I closed 14 listings out of the 56. So yeah, I'm pretty heavy in that, which I'm trying to change that a little bit this year.
Oh, you want to focus more on listings?
Correct.
What a novel idea.
I know, right?
It's interesting. I was talking to the agent early this morning, and she does like 20 plus deals or something like that, right? And like, she's got 3 listings right now, and none of them are under contract. So she's a little bit concerned, like she's worried. And she's got 2 other listings coming up, and she's like, "Oh, Alan, I'm gonna have 5 listings." I was like, "That's a good thing."
Yeah.
Keep stacking the listings, right? Like the listings are like in our business, there's that saying, you list to last, I think.
Correct.
Or the listing agent is the lasting agent, right? Man, I remember when I used to be in production, like at any given time, I would have like 10 to 12 listings. Like if I would have less than 10 listings, I would get anxiety. Like I would be like, oh no, like because I knew like about 60% of them, maybe 70% of them would eventually what? Sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go. All right, I'm gonna get paid. Maybe 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now, 120 days from now, they're going to sell. And plus, when you have a listing, you can leverage.
Correct.
Right? You got a sign outside. You can do open houses. You can promote it on social media. Like I have a listing coming soon in Arrowhead Lakes. You know what that is, right? 51st and 59th and north of 101. Dude, I put a sign, like literally within 24 hours, I got 3 calls. 1 agent and 2 potential buyers.
That's beautiful.
So when you get listings, literally, like I remember like just measuring and tracking, like I would spend about 10 hours with the seller from the start to the finish of the transaction, because I had a listing coordinator, I had a transaction coordinator, about 10 hours, my own personal time. Versus when I was working with a buyer, it was anywhere between 25 to 50 hours.
Correct.
So why would you not list more homes?
No, yeah, absolutely.
I think every agent out there should be focusing on getting more listings, period.
Correct.
Yeah.
1,000%.
So that's the plan.
That is the plan. Yeah.
All right. So the plan this year, let's talk about this year. How many transactions?
I want to do no less than 75.
Wow. So you want to increase it by about 25, 30%.
Correct.
No, more than that.
I don't know the percentage, but
Dude,
about
it's, yeah.
roughly, yes.
Okay. And how many of them are going to be listings?
So I want to do at least about 35 of them. So I know there's I'm throwing a big number out there, but nonetheless, I still want to push it. You know?
Go big or go home, right? That's what they say.
Correct.
Like, so what's going to be the plan? What's going to be the source of those listings?
So I'm going to concentrate now more like I do want to do working a little more on expired listings and just listed, just sold as well, reaching out to those type of clients. Fishbowls, so I'm going to concentrate on that type of lead generation as well. Have the one that I have, mine, obviously don't lose that and do more of this.
Got it. So expired listings?
Expired listings, yes.
For sale by owners?
Correct.
Okay. And then just listed, just sold?
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Are you getting any listing opportunities from your past clients?
Yes.
You are. That's probably one of your main sources right now?
Correct.
They bought it with you maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and now they're like, hey, man, I'm ready to upgrade?
Correct.
Got it. So there's an opportunity there as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Man, if you want to talk about the expired game or for sale by owner game, yeah, we can have another conversation. Dude.
I would love to.
We got some agents that like literally, no joke. One of them is actually here. I think you met him. He like lists like 3-4 houses a month from for sale by owners, and he's not even like cold calling them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd love to have that conversation.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, man. So 75, 76 transactions this year,
Yes.
right, for over $30 million in sales. What's that going to do for you? Like financially, what's the plan there? Are you looking to reinvest back in the business? Are you thinking of buying a bigger house, taking more vacations?
So I want to, but most likely spend more time with the family, more vacations, be able to leverage myself a little bit more so I can buy even more of my time. That's one of the biggest things. Obviously, take the family on more vacations. My wife and I have the plan we want to build our own home. That's my plan for either next year or the next year. We want to do that. That's my next goal.
So you want to buy a piece of land
and build
your own home.
Yeah, imagine that. Build your own house. That'll be...
I can imagine that. I did that like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. As a matter of fact, before you came, one of our top producing agents, she was texting me. She's like, hey, Alan, I want to buy a piece of land at 85383 zip code in North Peoria. Do you have any builders that you can recommend? And how long is the rezoning process? It's like the rezoning process probably takes about 7 or 8 months, right? And the builder probably going to charge you anywhere between $250 to $300 per square foot. So... but she's like, I want to build my house right now. That's what she wants to do. I was like, go for it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we want to do ourselves too. We've been thinking about it. We like our house. We bought it about 2 years ago. We built the pool in the house, so we've done some things to the property for sure. But just like anything, you move into the house, you're happy about moving into the house, but then little by little, like, okay, I think we need this. We would have done this better. What if we added this to the house, right?
Yeah.
So now we want to do that, and we have that kind of like our goal or dream, so to speak, to build our own property, our own home.
I love it. Are you doing any type of investments? Like, are you buying like real estate? Are you flipping? Do you have rentals, or are you just focusing primarily on like?
I have rentals. We have about 6 properties total. I did the flips a couple years back. It took a lot of my time, and I decided to stop doing it. I did it, and it was fun and whatnot, but I realized that it took my time from doing this, the helping clients selling and buying their home. So I wanted to concentrate on this part rather than doing the flips. But
Okay.
it was a fun
So it was
experiment.
so it was a time suck for you, or you felt like it was just taking too much of your time and kind of like diverting you from actually focusing on your main business.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay, got it.
And I think at one point of another, I was doing about 2 to 3 per year.
Okay.
But yeah, it took a time because you got to go look at it, get with the people, and then sometimes the people didn't do the work and whatnot. And I did pretty good money from some of those transactions, but I just thought the times invested was better on just concentrating on this other side.
Yeah. Okay. No, it makes a lot of sense. So let's say, for example, an aspiring agent, maybe newer in the game, or maybe been in business for a few years, but business is not as good as it wanted to be, right? Looking for consistency, looking for growth. What would you suggest, right? Like, I mean, you've been doing this for 6 years at a high level. You got a couple of agents right now on your team that you're mentoring and everything like that. If let's say you're talking to somebody who's like looking for that consistency, looking to make some money, like give me like 2 or 3, 4 steps, or share those steps with our audience, or they can just take on and just crush it.
So I think one of the biggest things that I notice that people sometimes do is they want to do too many things to generate leads instead of allowing that one lead generation to take place. So you have to, if you choose a lead generation, whether it's Facebook, open houses, you have to give them the time to develop. Because as you do an open house today, and that lead that you got from that open house might come into a transaction 3 months later, right? So if you do open houses for 1 month and then you stop and you say, well, open houses didn't work, it's because you didn't develop or you don't continue working on that. So I think it's one of the biggest things is find the lead generation you like, or you're going to concentrate and really go at it for 3 months or more before deciding that didn't work for you. Because I see that a lot of agents, that's why they fail, because sometimes they do open houses for 2 weekends and then they stop and they do something else. So I think that's probably the biggest thing first. Concentrate, find the lead generation you like. A lot of people talk about niche, right? Like find your niche that you're gonna like, whether it is first-time home buyers or second buyers. I think also finding your niche, lead generation is important, that you're gonna really like and strive and really push to do that. So I think that's step number 1, really do that, and then go at it strongly. Another thing that I can mention is like if you go to a class or you talk to a person that is doing good on social media or open houses, and they show you their training, do exactly what they told you how they're doing it, because they're doing successfully, they're doing very good. Don't try to change things at the beginning, because a lot of times, I don't like to do that. I don't like to do this. And a lot of the times, that's the secret sauce. The most difficult part of lead generation, the most tedious work of the lead generation is typically what brings the lead, right? And people tend not to want to do that. And then they take that training, but they only want to do 60% of what they were taught.
Yeah.
They have to really dive into that training. If you're going to follow that, really do everything that person is teaching you to do, then once you start doing it and you're getting some success, you want to tweak a couple of things like, okay, let me try this a little differently. Then you can try that. You can tweak it a little bit. If it doesn't give you a result, then go back. Go back to what you were doing originally, right? If it gives you a better result, then go at it and continue, but don't do less work. I think that's my clue to everything, right? Don't do less work. Get the training, find out how, what you're going to do, and really go at it strongly.
So what you were saying is like, man, don't be a lead hopper.
Correct.
Don't hop from one lead source to another. Right? Figure out which one you want to go after and just go all in.
Correct.
Be patient, right? Be intentional, be like laser focused, right? And make sure you have the consistency to back it up.
Correct.
Like you cannot just kind of expect the like instant results. Like it takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time, yeah. Do you think that's the biggest struggle that most of the agents deal with, is the fact that, they try something and like after like a few weeks, they kind of start like questioning, and then like after a month or so, they start like, this shit doesn't work, or I'm wasting my time, and then just move on to the next one and to the next one and to the next one. I think that's the biggest reason, or there's something else?
I think that for what I've seen is one of the biggest reasons that they continue to hop into different ones. And you know this. You want to create different legs of business. You don't want to just do one lead generation. I agree, but at the same time, you have to start with something, and you have to really dive into that lead generation before you add more legs into your business. More lead generations. Like I have now 4 different ones.
Yeah.
But I concentrated first on one.
Yeah.
Really did good job on that, and then developed the next one, and then the next one, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, you started with the Facebook Marketplace,
Correct.
right? I mean, I started with expireds. Like the third year in business, I closed 75 deals. Majority of those transactions were from expireds. Some for sale by owners, some open houses, but the overwhelming majority were expired listings. Right? So you don't need to have multiple lead sources to sell like 30, 40, 50 homes. Think about it.
Correct.
Right? So like, man, Facebook Marketplace, I just cannot believe more agents are not doing it.
True.
Like, think about it. It's free of charge, right? Yes, there's some work involved, posting and then obviously replying and everything like that. But man, you can close deals.
Correct.
And you can build a database.
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah. No, in going back to what we were saying earlier is that a lot of the times that's what agents don't continue to succeed is because of that reason. They learn how to do a process, they learn how to do a lead generation, but they only do it half the way, and they are doing it more consistently. As in, they have to do it, whatever you decide to do. If you like to do an open houses, then you gotta go at it, and do open houses 2-3 times a week, and do it the next week and the following week, and so on and so forth.
I love it.
Yeah.
Why do you think agents fail?
I think consistency is one part of it. Another piece is I have an agent that I was struggling with excitement for. He got a client that talked to him, a lead that talked to him, and then that lead ghosted him, and he was kind of like bummed out about the fact that lead ghosted him. And I told him, look, man, you got to throw the net out there, and then you're going to have more conversations. Don't get excited for one person just talk to you and then stop doing the work on all the way around. I get excited when I get the paycheck. That's when I get excited. Prior to that, I get the pre-call. Okay, we're a little bit excited, but not like, oh my God, I haven't closed the transaction yet. So it's important that, you continue to do the work and you don't stop. Another piece too is a roller coaster of transactions that we have sometimes where you get leads and you do your lead generation very strongly, and then you get some leads, and then you stop doing the lead generation, and so you get up on that roller coaster because you got a lot of leads, and then you close those transactions, and then now you don't have nothing because you have not been doing lead generation. I think it's important to set a schedule of when you're going to do the work you're going to do, when you're going to do lead generation, and really do not deviate from that. Really stay into that. So if you're going to do, expires, for an instance, from 8 to 10, that's your time to do that, 8 to 10, no matter what. You get clients, perfect. That's why you were doing it to begin with, right? And don't stop doing your lead generation. Whatever that lead generation is, whatever you decide to do, just have a calendar, a day where you're going to do those things. I think that's sometimes why some agents may fail. It's because they don't follow a process.
They don't have a set structure.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'm a huge believer that, we know this, right? There are 24 hours in a day. Like the greatest equalizer that we all have, regardless whether you live here, you live in Anchorage, Alaska, you live in Dubai, we all got what? 24 hours
in a day,
in a day, right? And the question is, how do you choose to spend those 24 hours, right? And I'm not saying like you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, absolutely not. But imagine how your business would look like, right? If you dedicate 2 hours a day, if you commit 2 hours a day to talking to people about real estate, you can call it prospecting, you can call it follow-up, DMing, whatever that is.
Correct.
You commit consistently 2 hours a day to talking to people about real estate. And then you spend another 2 hours a day marketing and branding your real estate business.
That's
That's
phenomenal.
4 hours a day out of 24 hours you're dedicating to prospecting / follow-up and marketing branding.
That's great.
Your business will continue to grow.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I totally agree with you.
But it's just amazing to see this, right? And I run a real estate brokerage, you know this. Like, how many agents do not follow that simple process? It sounds simple, it looks simple, but people do it for maybe a day or two, a week or two, maybe a month or two. And like you said, they get that high roller coaster of getting few leads that are actively going out there, you know, showing homes, getting them on a contract, and they forget to continue to work the leads.
The leads, correct. The lead generation part.
Right? So that's it, man. Honestly, I think that's the secret. 4 hours a day, you do this, your business is going to continue to grow.
I agree with you. You know, and if you do that consistently, I think, you know, and set it up to whatever time it's going to be, and you got to respect that. More importantly, you have to respect it so people can respect it, right? You know, if as long as you do that, then you're going to continue doing your lead generation, and eventually you're going to be in a position where you might not know what to do with all these leads, and then now you can grow your own team and bring people into your team because now you have all those leads coming up.
I love it. I love it. So what's your plan for the next 5 years? Let's say you and I were having this conversation again 5 years from now, God willing.
God willing.
Where do you see yourself? Where do you see your business? By that time, obviously, your house, your beautiful mansion is going to be built with 5 garage spaces, an RV garage, and 43,000 square foot lot, probably 1 acre, right? But where do you see yourself? Where do you see your business in 2030? Yeah, 2030. Yeah.
So at that time, I want to have a big team working under me. Maybe, and this is talking about 5 years, I ever thought about making on my own brokerage, so that could be another thought process for sure. But definitely have a big team working for me, working only, I don't know, 2 hours a day maybe. You know, that'll be my ideal from now 5 years. That's where I want to grow to, where my time is completely leveraged. So I'm only working 20 hours a week, if anything.
So basically working on your terms.
Correct.
Right. And living on your terms.
Correct.
And having the freedom and options to do the things that you want to do.
Absolutely.
With whoever you want to do it. Whenever you want to do it. That's
Absolutely.
the beautiful part about our business. And you can do that. You can build that.
Yeah, and I think that's the plan. That's in those 5 years, to be able to have a strong team that I can just depend on, and then just work a couple hours a day, and that's it.
I love it, my brother.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So how can the agents connect with you? Where they can find you?
Sure. They can go to Instagram, Jose, and it's simple, Jose Cereces Realtor. If you look at me like that, Facebook is same thing, Jose Cereces, it will come up. My phone number, they can reach out to me at 623-262-2679.
Okay.
Yeah.
TikTok account?
I do have a TikTok account as well, yeah. And same thing, Jose Cereces. So all of them is all the same.
YouTube?
I don't have a YouTube channel. I need to work on that.
we got to make that happen.
Yeah,
man.
I need to work on a YouTube channel. That's another one of my goals.
All right, man. An email address?
My email address is jose@theCerecesGroup.com.
So now you know exactly how to reach him, man. He gave you like 5 different options. All right, man. Well, listen, I enjoyed the conversation.
Likewise.
Man,
Appreciate you having me.
Congratulations on all the success. Yeah, let's have another chat. Maybe by the end of the year or something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you grow and build that empire.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, man.